Hi friends, Rachel, the Waterfire Mama here with you. This video is for couples who are struggling with negativity. When we get to a place where we're living in survival mode because of special needs caregiving, we can start to see less of the loving things we want our spouse to do and more of the things they do that bother us. Today we're going to talk about how building a culture of appreciation in your marriage can help you bust out of that cycle of negativity and guard against the toxic attitude of contempt. Welcome back. Before we get started, you need to know about a book called 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work by Dr. John Gottman. I've used Gottman's material since I started doing marriage therapy in 2006 because it's easy to understand, it's easy to apply, and it works. Dr. Gottman and his wife Julie have spent decades studying thousands of couples over time. They have distilled what kinds of attitudes and behaviors will make or break a marriage over the long haul, and they share this passion for helping couples get as much joy as possible out of their marriages. The Gottman Institute also has a really great YouTube channel you should check out after this video, of course. So in our last episode, we talked about the downward spiral. When we don't get our core needs met, a lot of times we try to get them met in some unhealthy ways. These behaviors that husbands and wives do tend to trigger each other into reacting with what Dr. Gottman calls the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse: contempt, criticism, defensiveness, and stonewalling. And they continue down this spiral trying to soothe themselves, but really just making each other feel worse. In the next few videos, we'll break down what each of these 4 horsemen are, talk about what they mean, and how to deal with them when they show up in our relationships. We're going to talk about that first horseman of contempt in just a minute, but before we do, I want to get out on the table another Gottman concept called negative sentiment override. This relates back to something I've talked about in a previous video. What we focus on expands. Here's the deal. When most of us are dating, we have a really positive view of the other person. We look for ways to make them smile or make their life easier, even if it means going through some inconvenience on our part. We give them the benefit of the doubt when they do something to upset us. But after some time goes by, we tend to pay less and less attention to making our partner's life better and more attention to the things our partner does that we don't like and what we're not getting out of the relationship. The more we focus on those negatives, the more we see them. Pretty soon, we start to filter everything our partner does through those dark colored glasses so that neutral or even actions with good intent get interpreted as negative. Imagine a scenario where it's usually the wife's job to do the laundry and the husband comments that there are no clean socks in the drawer as he's getting dressed in the morning. If things are going pretty smoothly in their relationship, the husband is probably just trying to alert his wife of a problem, and she probably won't take that personally. She might respond with, "Whoops, things got away from me this week. Next time, can you tell me you're running low before you run out?" But if the relationship has been rocky and negative sentiment override is at play, he might think that she didn't do the socks because she's negligent, and she might interpret the comment as critical and unfair and respond with defensiveness. Contempt, criticism, defensiveness, and stonewalling. These are what John Gottman calls the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse because if they go unchecked, they will perpetuate that downward spiral of negativity and can eventually become fatal to the relationship. I want to start with contempt because it can quickly become the most toxic of the horsemen. Contempt is expressing the attitude that you are superior to your spouse intellectually, morally, or in some other way. This can look like cynicism, name-calling, eye-rolling, mockery, or hostile humor. Think about the couple with the socks. If he opens the drawer and says to his wife, "What's the matter with you? How hard is it to wash a load of laundry once in a while?" He's insinuating that she's inferior at task management. That's contempt, and it's going to trigger vulnerability in his wife. On the other hand, if the husband comments, "Oh no, I'm out of socks," and she shoots back in a mocking tone, Oh no socks have magically appeared in my drawer this week. Would it hurt you to pitch in once in a while? She's suggesting that all the other contributions he's made recently don't count, and he doesn't understand how the laundry gets done. That's also contempt, and that will trigger vulnerability. The partner on the receiving end of the contempt in both examples will likely be pushed to try to soothe themselves by getting defensive, critical, or even contemptuous toward the other person. So how do we keep the weeds of contempt from popping up in our marriages? Since contempt is expressing the attitude that you're better than your partner, we want to promote a better attitude. And we do that by making a habit of thinking positive thoughts about our partner. That means remembering what we like about them, what attracts us to them, how they make our lives better, and what we appreciate about them. Maybe put a happy picture of the two of you out where you'll see it regularly, maybe as the wake screen on your phone. When you're apart during the day and you see the picture, take a moment to be thankful for something specific about them. When you're together, notice the good things that they do and tell them thank you. Philippians 4:8 tells us that we should fill our minds with things that are good and deserve praise, things that are true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and honorable. Guys, what we focus on expands. So if you're looking for what your spouse is doing right, you're going to see more of it. My husband David and I have worked hard to create a culture of appreciation between us. We try to thank each other for big and little things throughout the day. Thanks for cleaning up the kitchen. Thanks for staying on top of our finances. Thanks for remembering to get apples at the grocery store. Thanks for helping me get the kids ready for bed. When you're looking for things to appreciate, you'll see more of them. Thanking your spouse for those things recalibrates your attitude, and it encourages them to repeat the actions that you thank them for. So, between now and when I see you again, aim to appreciate 3 things about your partner each day and tell them about it. If you need some help to get you started, download the Gottman Card Decks app on iPhone or Android. The Card Decks app gives you prompts and suggestions for questions to ask your partner and appreciations to give them, so you'll have a bunch of ideas at your fingertips. Don't forget, if you need specific help for your marriage, I would love to work with you as a coach. Click on my website through waterandfire.com in the description and fill out the contact form so we can get connected. Next time, we'll talk about the second horseman of criticism, how to avoid it, and how to word your complaints in a way that is less likely to trigger defensiveness in your partner or start an argument. Make sure you like this video and subscribe below so you don't miss a video. Remember, Water Fire Walkers, you may feel like your marriage is crumbling beneath your feet, but our God goes before us and is our rear guard. He's going to carry us through these tough days. He's got you, and I'm here to help. I'll see you next time.